to talk about the change that I had in the pandemic. um, it was a large year. I remember that when the pandemic started, nobody knows what was the COVID 19 because it was a new sick for everyone. So I remember that I was in sixth grade of high school. Uh, okay, I'm in Las Americas High School here in Veracruz, and I remember that I only went like 1 month in the school because it was very quick that the director and the teachers said that we had to continue the classes in online class. So it was very new for everyone. For everyone, nobody knows how to use. I remember that in that case we use a platform we called Algebraics. So nobody knows how to use that platform, and I remember it was very funny because at the first class it was about how to use the platform, how to write homework, how to take the class. It was very funny. Yeah, it was very funny. I remember it was difficult at the beginning, but at the time that I used the app, mm, I I learned how to use that. And when I learned how to use the app, it was not very difficult for me. So I take my classes, I answer the exams, I talk with my friends, all in online. So, as you can remember, all the things that you had to do, it was online. Watch movies, buy things. Um, in my student case, I have to take classes online. So I think it was a 360 change because in my case, I'm a very party person. I always was in parties, in antros, in nightclubs, in some of that. So at the time that all the business closed, it was very hard for me because I feel that I was in jail, only with my family. Talking about the family, I remember the first time it was very difficult because we have to see my mother, my brothers, all in my house. Well, sometimes we are mad, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad. I don't know. It was a mix of feelings. So I think the first 2 or 3 months it was very difficult. Talking about the feelings, I remember that it was difficult because I had a girlfriend, now my ex, and she constantly get mad, get angry because uh, I doesn't see her. I can't because my mother don't want to go out of the house. So I remember that it was very difficult. I only can see her like 1 or 2 times a month. Yeah, it was very difficult. And I remember that all things that we want to do together, we only can do in online. I remember that I watched movies with her on Netflix and with video call. I call her all the nights. I text all the time, but it was very difficult. I'm talking that with feelings. About the money, I remember that about the money, it changed a lot because my father gave me the money every week to cover my parties, to cover my class materials, to cover my luxuries, all the things that my father covers to me, it disappeared. Because I remember that he said that if I don't go to school, why he continue giving money? So it was difficult this part. And about the sick, here is the most difficult part for me to talk about the sick. I personally, I was the person that I don't believe in COVID-19. This this until I had COVID-19. Yeah, I remember that it was in the morning. I wake up, I do my personal things in the bathroom, and at the time that I put soap in my hands, it doesn't smell. And I remember that I was like, oh my god, it doesn't smell. I called my mother, I remember, and I said, hey, I don't smell, and I go downstairs, I remember, and I eat, I remember an onion, it was an onion. I eat an onion, and it doesn't taste. It was the most scary moment that I had experienced in my life, personally in my life. That eat that onion and it doesn't taste, and take antibacterial gel and it doesn't smell. So it was like very traumatizing for me, because I remember that I think I'm gonna die, and I don't wanna die, you know. Um, I remember that I dured 2 weeks with the sick. Um, I feel like a jail really, because I only live in my room for 2 weeks. My mother give me up the food, but he only live in the entrance of my room. He left, and I remember that she only said, "Hey, here is the food, here's the breakfast, here's the dinner." I go out of my room only for the bathroom, only for a shower to me, and always with a face mask. Always with a face mask. I can't take off my face mask because it was a very risk of my mother. Well, finally my mother took contracts the COVID-19, but it was very interesting. Sometimes I lose my mind because I imagine that, oh man, taste. I'm gonna never taste again. I'm gonna never smell again. So it was very traumatic for me. But at the pass of the days, I started again smell little by little. But I start again. I start again little taste. So it was a real life for me. In conclusion, I learned to value. I learned to value all the things that I made or that I done outside of my house. Before that the pandemic started, I learned to value, since go to the store, go to the market and buy chips and buy food. I value go to my friends, to the supermarket, to the mall. I learn go out with my friends to nightclub, to antros. I learn how to value the importance that is going to school, but personally, not online, personally. I learn to value great things that you can't value if you stay outside. And the most important thing in conclusions, I learned to live with this pandemic with a face mask, with the alcohol in my hands. I learned so much. and I hope that you never get the COVID-19 because it's horrible. It's horrible, total. It's horrible. Um, and I hope that in someday this ends. This ends because I want personally I want back with my normal life. Well, this is my experience about the COVID-19 pandemic. I hope that you enjoy my experience and thank you for your attention.